struggle. They were 2-0 down at half-time. Goals from Katuto and Baltimore for the French, after England had earlier had an Alessia Russo goal ruled out after the tightest of offside calls following a VAR check. Kira Walsh's first major tournament goal got them back in it late on, but it was too little too late, despite flashes of brilliance from the teenager Michelle Adjemang. Selma Basha's late clearance off the line proved to be England's last chance as she denied Lauren Hemp. And already all eyes on what realistically are two must-win group games to come against the Dutch and the Welsh for England. France 2, England 1.
Joe, thanks very much. Well, that was really disappointing, wasn't it? And here's the reality. Here's the harsh, stark reality. England lose to the Netherlands here on Wednesday, live on talkSPORT. It's pretty much game over. It'll be a miracle if Wales get anything from the France game. And Tash Dowie, pressure massively on the European champions.
Yeah, like there wasn't already enough pressure, but double that now. We knew there was going to be pressure. It's a tough group. There was huge pressure being holders, and we kind of did say, whoever wins this, I think then goes on to win the group, and I think France will go on to win this group. And now the Dutch look very strong, very comfortable. This is going to be a tough game for England going into that, especially after this. This will really deflate them. This will be a tough one.
Well, it's customary for Sarina Wiegman to get all the players, all the squad, all the staff into a huddle circle, really, after games, and they've done exactly that. They really shouldn't need it spelling out to them. And the amazing thing is, first 15-20 minutes, England were okay, played okay. France then settled, worked out what they needed to do, and boy, did they do it. They were brilliant. And then the last 5 minutes at injury time, suddenly England woke up. And that urgency was nowhere near where it needed to be in the second half until Michelle Adjemang came on. You asked a great question in commentary. A teenager comes on and suddenly England are lifted. I mean, that shouldn't be the case. There's enough experience out there, enough quality out there for them to be playing way better than they did before Michelle Adjemang came on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're spot on. I like to defend them because of what they've done so much. They've been so consistent in an England top. It was a bad day at the office, and you can't afford to have bad days at the office in international football at international tournaments. So, look, none of them wanted to have this performance, but it isn't good enough. You know, and something has to happen. Sarina themselves, they have to look at themselves. What went wrong? What went so badly wrong today? Because they have to put it right against the Netherlands. If they don't, then it's going to be probably the biggest shock of the tournament. The holders out.
And listen, yeah, the European champions 3 years ago, and credit to them for that. Loads of them are legends, including Sarina, whose record is brilliant at tournaments. However, Sarina's subs now, she's got to look at herself, because Sarina's subs won us the Euros 3 years ago. She left a key sub too late here tonight, and that's not hindsight. Russo didn't have a shot on target, she never shot a goal. So she was doing hard work up front. She was brilliant tonight, holding the ball up, winning free kicks, buying some time while France were putting us under pressure. She was exceptional. But she couldn't do anything in front of goal because there was no service, there was nothing. You've got two strikers, Beaver-Jones and Adjemang, on the bench. Why are you leaving it so late to think about bringing one of them on? Should have brought two of them on much earlier. Very strange from Sarina Wiegman. Yeah. She's got to sharpen up.
No, she has. And I think it's hard as a manager when you have we talk about players having a playing style. A manager has a managerial style that's worked for her for so much. But now, she has to be braver. You're absolutely right. Whatever she's done in the past worked for her then, but it didn't work today. And I think you have to play players that are in form. And I question the players that started today. I question the players that she brought on. Was it safe? Was it the players that have helped her in the past? But actually, are they the players that are going to help you now? And I think Beaver-Jones to not even get on, I don't know what more she could do. Adjemang, put her on for longer. If she had got 15-20 minutes, what might have happened?
Tash, we're 2-0 down. We need goals, and there's two strikers who cannot wait to get on the grass, sitting there doing nothing. It makes no sense that they didn't come on sooner. And we saw with Adjemang what a prospect she is, by the way.
Oh.
She had a terrific season. The goal in Belgium that she scored for England was truly world class. So it's not like it was a big risk bringing her on. You're two down, and you're bringing on someone who wasn't a at all bothered about the pressure with England when she scored that goal in Belgium. I just cannot for the life of me understand why she left it so late. Two good strikers, they need more game time.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. And we talk about loyalty as well. I wish I'd had more loyalty maybe when I was an England player, and I loved Serena's loyalty to certain players. But today I thought Stanway was really poor, I thought Walsh was really poor, I thought there were some big players, Lucy Bronze, but she's not going to take them off. And that's sometimes where I question whether she can be braver and whether she can trust the youngsters. And Ashley Mann has proved that she can trust those youngsters, so she needs to play them more in the second game.
It's big decisions you're talking about there, because these are winners. They've had incredible careers. I mean, Lucy Bronze, I thought it was one of her poorest England games today. I hate saying that because I love her as well. Beth Mead, she sets up the winner in the Champions League final for Arsenal with one of the best assists you'll ever see, and then she plays like that, can't even pass it to a teammate. I cannot understand it. Sometimes you play well, sometimes you don't, but these are big decisions Serena has got to make. So you're talking about the pressure on the players, and they've got to look at themselves. I think the manager has got to do exactly the same. They've got themselves to this pedestal now, these England players, and they've deserved it, and they're actually deserving everything that comes with it as well. But you've got to keep it up, and if you don't, you'll be scrutinised.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see actually how Serena approaches this and what she actually says about this game. I'd be really disappointed if she starts bringing in the VAR and the refereeing. Yes, it was the wrong call, absolutely, and who knows what would have happened if they'd gone 1-0 up. Maybe they would have gone on to win the game, but that hasn't happened. So I really hope that she has an honest press conference after when she's talking to the media, and I'm intrigued to see what she has to say.
Well, Tash Dowie is staying on for the phone-in with Darren Ben and Jordan Nobbs, and that's coming next on talkSPORT, the full-time phone-in, 03717 223344. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk will bring you a reaction from Serena Wiegmann and the England cap. Some thought it's coming home, but if England lose to the Dutch here on Wednesday, the European champions will be coming home.
It could be the first ever year that England win a trophy on foreign soil, an England senior team. And the reigning European champions are about to get off and underway at Euro 2025. Plays a low ball, and Lauren Hemphill free! Saved by the goalkeeper, and posted on the rebound! It is Alessia Russo! The referee is signalling here that it is ruled out for an offside in the build-up. France on the counter straight away. Cascarino in behind down the right. Drills in across. Katoto! 1-0 to France. Beyond Williamson. Baltimore with a shot. And France have scored again. And England are all over the place. Reed is giving it away. Katoto through the middle. And Kioro is onto it. And Hampton has let it squirt through her grasp. But has grabbed the ball just before it crosses the line. Questions have got to be asked. A major tournament performance, the like of which we haven't really seen from England under Serena Wiegmann. Chloe Kelly drills in the corner, Adjumang is up, headed away to the edge of the box, and the curling shot is in! England are back in it after all! What a goal from Kira Walsh! Everybody's forward, Adjumang is jumping, it's flicked on towards Russo, goalkeeper flaps it in, and it's off the line by Basher to deny him, and England's title defence begins with a damaging defeat in Zurich.
Euro 2025 Switzerland.
The most hotly contested prize in European women's football.
Good evening, you listen to the full-time phone-in on talkSPORT with myself, Darren Bent, and join me for the next hour is the former Arsenal, Aston Villa and England midfielder Jordan Nobbs. Well, England's Euro 2025 campaign has got off to the worst possible start in Zurich as they are beaten 2-1 by France in their Group D opener. So we want to know what went wrong for the Lionesses, and did Sarina Wiegman get her tactics or team selection wrong? 03717 223344. We'll also get some thoughts of the former England international Natasha Dowie and see what she made of the performance, and we want to hear from you, so get your calls in now. 03717 223344. This is the full-time phone-in on talkSPORT. Yes, good evening. Jordan, good evening, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having us.
So, I wish it could be under happier circumstances, but of course England played tonight, the Lionesses, beating 2-1 in their first game of this Euro 25 campaign. First and foremost, quickly, I know we've got to go to a break soon, but what did you make of the performance and a bit of a tough start?
Yeah, tough night for the Lionesses. I think they'll be more disappointed in probably the overall performance. First 10 minutes, you're thinking, you know what, France can be opened up here, especially Lauren James getting on the ball, spraying some good passes, but I think the turning point was after Russo scores that goal. You know, France just turned it on and to another level, and I think especially in the wide areas, they were just really hurting the Lionesses.
Of course, I mean, as I said, we want to get people's reactions. 03717 223344. So get your calls in, and we'll speak to you very, very shortly. But we're also going to hear from Natasha Dowie, the former international. But I think you said it there, and again, we'll speak about it a little bit more later. The VAR decision for Alessia Russe's disallowed goal. Now, I've looked at the pictures, you looked at the images. I can't quite see the daylight. I don't see where it's clear and obvious. And I know VAR was kind of brought in to help, and I hate going down the whole VAR discussion route, but I didn't see the offside there. Yeah,
it was a tough one, wasn't it? I mean, it looked like Beth's big toe was just about, and I mean, I think we're always having this question on VAR, aren't we? When it's such a tight call like that, you're just like thinking, oh, you know, where's the difference? But I suppose with VAR, there's just no argument, unfortunately. I think a lot of footballers, it angers us a lot. But I suppose at the end of the day, the Lionesses still have to, you know, get on with that decision and move forward, because I think with every game, there's sometimes decisions don't go your way.
Now, it's going to be difficult for the Lionesses. As you said, they've obviously disappointing result this evening against France. A big game against the Netherlands, because effectively they're playing for their survival in this competition.
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously talked about the group so much, and now we look at the Netherlands. They've just had a really good win. And for the Lionesses to go in with all that pressure.
Sorry to interrupt you. We've got Courtney Sweetman-Kershaw with the Lionesses striker Alessia Russo.
No, Bent, I'm actually with Lucy Bronze, she's here with me. Lucy, you started the game so well, the first 20 minutes, much the better team, but what happened after that?
Yeah, I know, we felt really good. I think scoring that goal, which we deserved, obviously, I think it was offside in the end. Maybe getting that chalked off was swing the momentum a little bit. I think France then kind of booked their ideas up, played really well. We struggled maybe in the second half after that. Lost a bit of our quality, lost a bit of our energy and enthusiasm, and France capitalised on that. I think then going 2-0 down was a difficult game to come back against anyone, let alone France. But yeah, the fight at the end was good to get a goal back. Probably left it a little bit too late to really push them. But you could see we had chances at the end to maybe steal a draw. But you know, we've got to focus on the next two games. We've got two good games now ahead of us where we can still win and we can still qualify.
And in terms of that offside, we've seen the semi-automated picture. You'll probably see it, doesn't look great. You personally can't see it. And you know, in terms of obviously the second goal as well, it looked like Alessia was fouled in the build-up. So do you feel a little bit like the result, the decisions have maybe gone against you a little bit today as well?
Yeah, potentially the decisions, but I think the result, arguably wasn't unfair. I think France played really well. I think we can't negate that, they didn't deserve to do as well as they did. Yeah, I think a lot of us thought there was potentially a foul on Russo in the build-up to their second goal, but decisions didn't go our way. We just got to continue with that. We still had another 45 minutes in the second half to change the course of the game and the result, and we need to do better with that.
And in terms of the reaction, you mentioned it, Michelle Agimanche came on, did really well. Obviously, we saw that fantastic wonder goal against Belgium, was hoping she could do the same, but it's been a good reaction, wasn't it, in the back end of the game? Maybe a little bit too late, but albeit a good reaction.
Yeah, fantastic reaction. I think bringing someone like Michelle off the bench and, you know, such a young player and coming on and making a difference. I know she wasn't the one that scored the goal. She'd only just come on 2 seconds before that. But yeah, you saw the swing of momentum. You saw us really push. Maybe if we tried a little bit earlier, we might have got that second goal that maybe we deserved in the end. But that's just the way football is, you know. We have to work on that. We have to go back to the drawing board, analyse this game and move on to the next.
Lucy, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, that was Courtney Sweetman-Kirk there with Lucy Bronze reflecting on that performance by the Lionesses. Well, listen, we've got a lot to get stuck into. Unfortunately, it got off to the worst possible start, getting beat by France. But up next, we are going to be joined by the former England international, Natasha Dowie. We're going to go over all the bits, the VAR decision, the performance of Serena Wiegmann and her Lionesses. So this is the full-time phone-in on talkSPORT. Listening to the full-time phone-in on talkSPORT with myself, Darren Bent, and the former Arsenal, Aston Villa and England midfielder, Jordan Nobbs. Well, England's Euro 2025 campaign got off to the worst possible start in Zurich this evening as they were beaten 2-1 by France in their Group D opener. And this is how the action sounded on talkSPORT.
It could be the first ever year that England win a trophy on foreign soil, an England senior team. And the reigning European champions are about to get off and underway at Euro 2025. Plays a low ball and Lauren Hemp is free! Saved by the goalkeeper and pokes it on the rebound! It is a Alessia Russo! The referee is signalling here that it is ruled out for an offside in the build-up. France on the counter straight away. Cascarino in behind down the right. Drills it across. Katoto! 1-0 to France. Beyond Williamson. Baltimore with a shot. And France have scored again. And England are all over the place. Reed has given it away. Katoto through the middle. And Kioro is onto it. And Hampton has let it squirt through her grasp. But has grabbed the ball just before it crosses the line. Questions have got to be asked. A major tournament performance, the like of which we haven't really seen from England under Serena Wiegmann. Chloe Kelly drills in the corner. Adjemang is up, headed away to the edge of the box, and the curling shot is in! England are back in it after all! What a goal from Kira Walsh! Everybody's forward. Adjemang is jumping. It's flicked on towards Russo. Goalkeeper flaps it in, and it's off the line by Basher to deny him. And England's title defence begins with a damaging defeat in Zurich.
Yeah, you heard it there on talkSPORT. The Lioness is getting beat 2-1 in their opener by France. Again, really disappointing. You said it there, Jordan, at the top of the show when you spoke about the start of the game. England started really, really well, but just couldn't maintain it.
No, I think, like I said, when Russo obviously got that disallowed goal, I think France just took it to another level. They were dominating in midfield, in the wide areas. Jess Carter was finding it tough against Cascarino. Getting a lot of crosses in the box, and it just put England on the back foot. And it's probably the first time I've not seen England have a lot of control of the ball in the games they normally play. They're normally quite organised, and they just looked a little bit too open. As soon as they lost it, France were just turning the ball and going on the attack.
Absolutely. All right, well, listen, let's go and speak to now Natasha Dowie. She was on COCOM's duty for talkSPORT this evening. She had a front row seat at this game for the Lionesses. Natasha, how are you doing?
I'm good, guys. How are you? Could have been better. Would have been happier with a win, but yeah, we've got still lots to play for.
What did you make of the performance, Natasha? Because I thought England started off really, really well, and I thought, okay, they obviously had the goal disallowed, which, again, I'm guessing we'll get to about the VAR decision, but I thought they started off really brightly, and there was only one winner I could see, but after that first 20 minutes, it went really, really flat.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely. I think it wasn't probably what I was expected. I didn't think they would dominate so much in that first 20. I was actually surprised with how poor France were. And again, the VAR and the goal going against them wasn't ideal. If they had that on top of the momentum, I think England probably would have gone on to win the game. But it didn't happen. And I think what I was mostly disappointed with then was the response. Absolutely, you're going to have momentum and shifts in play, and the French would be on top and England would be on top. But I think overall, when we look at the 90 minutes, it just was not good enough. Everyone has an off day. But if you have an off day on the international stage at tournament football, you're going to get found out. And maybe one or two players, you can get away with it. But to be honest, probably Lauren James and maybe Adjemang when she came on, everyone else for their standards was miles off it.
Tash, I know you'd obviously spoke about team selection a little bit. Do you think there might be a question mark on Jess Carter? Obviously it's not normal to sub your full back, and she did have a tough time. And I don't think, obviously, like you said, some players helped her out when she's in them 1v1 battles. But do you think that'll be a question on Serena maybe making some different selection choices?
Yeah, it's so hard, isn't it, Jordan, when you think about it? Because, to be honest, I think put any player up against Cascarino, I think they're going to struggle. She's that quick, and this is why I think that if a Charles had started, would it have been any different? I don't think so. If a Greenwood plays out wide, would it have been different? No. I think Jess Carter isn't slow, but Cascarino is just so quick. So that's why I was more disappointed, actually, with her teammates helping her out. You've been in the game, you played at the top. If you're struggling, and you can see she's done you 1v1 straight away, you have to get around her. Hemp has to track back more, and it's hard work. Midfield have to tuck over. Like, so Greenwood then needs to cover her, but they didn't. They just said, there you go, Jess, go 1v1 with her and suffer. And I think that's what I was more disappointed about. Normally we see more of a togetherness with England, but in too many positions, I think that happened too often.
Also, as well, Natasha, England are used to dominating the football. They move the ball really well, mainly through Kira Walsh as well. Who's lovely in possession. She keeps it ticking over. I just don't think England kept possession enough. And when they did get possession after they've won it back from France, they were too quick to give it away.
Oh, so unlike them. And I think that's probably, actually, looking back at the 90 minutes, the most disappointing thing. I think, except for Spain, England probably, in my opinion, are one of the best teams on the ball. That's their strength, is possessing the ball, playing through the thirds. They have ball players. But today, it was just so unlike them. And Kira Walsh, we talk about key players in teams. Kira Walsh is phenomenal, the best in her position. But when she has an off day, And then a Stanway, who's normally, again, so consistent, you know, gets around, puts the tackles. She has an off day. Lauren Hemp, who's been out for a big amount of time. Sorry, Lauren James, who's been out for a big amount of time. You expect her to then run the midfield, and she did as much as she could. But I think that was the problem. Too many players for their standards. A Beth Mead, normally phenomenal in an England shirt. Her stats are ridiculous on the international stage. I've never seen her play such a poor game. It wasn't just one pass. It was every single pass, you know, giving it away under needless pressure. Same, Hemp tried a bit, you know, Russo worked hard, but again, you can't have one or two players and then everyone else off it. And I think as well, what disappoints me is when you make one bad pass, someone else needs to tidy up and say, okay, this is the standard we have, let's get back to it. But someone made a bad pass, then someone else would, and it was infectious throughout the whole team. Then Hannah Hampton, you know, started spinning things. So, you know, we talk about what is the reasons. I'm hoping it's just one hell of a bad day out of the office, but, you know, they need to regroup quickly. Will Sarina Wiegman make changes? In my opinion, from what I've seen in the past, probably not. You know, she doesn't like to, and that would blow my mind if that wasn't the case, because I think she needs to be brave now. I really do. I think it's a big ask, but your Beaver Joneses, Ajimans, I would love to see them more involved.
Yeah, I think we were obviously speaking about with Darren about how isolated players look. Like you said, you saw players losing the ball, and then it kind of felt like the Lionesses didn't have that second player to then fight for the challenge again. And you look at the likes of Lauren James, obviously we won on the pitch, but you saw her and Beth Mead getting a little bit deeper and deeper. But are you saying that you think that a bit of change of players rather than tactics?
Yeah, and I think it's spot on, isn't it? And I was thinking that it felt as if France almost had 22 players. You know, it felt like every time they had the ball, they had options. They were enjoying their football. I felt like with England, it's in a long time anyway, since I've watched England play, it felt like when they got the ball, there just wasn't options. To me, they didn't look like, I was struggling to see a pattern of play, a game plan, which normally you see through England. Everyone's so well connected. These players have played a lot together. It's not like they're a new group of players, you know, at club level and international level. So, look, Sarina Wiegman will not change the formation. She won't. I would love to. I'd love her to be brave and go 4-4-2, you know, and be brave and put a Beaver Jones or an Ajiman up top with a Russo, you know, and go in midfield, and you can tuck the wide players in and make them a bit more inverted. But she won't. And obviously, I'm not the England manager, and what she's done on the international stage, she's probably laughing that I'm even having an opinion on it. But I just thought it was poor tonight. So, again, how they can change that within 3 or 4 days, I'm not too sure, but they need to, because the Dutch looked really strong as well, and it's a must-win. They have to win.
Yeah, they do. They really, really do, Natasha. All right, we'll stay there, Natasha. We'll catch up with you again in a little bit. First, let's go and get an update from the Moves as Real Madrid take on Borussia Dortmund in the Club World Cup quarterfinals.
And we've got 21 minutes to go. Real Madrid 2, Borussia Dortmund 0. So Real Madrid are heading to a semi-final showdown against Paris Saint-Germain. Gonzalo Garcia scored the opening goal in 9 minutes, a cushion volley from 6 yards out. Fran Garcia converted after a good low ball in by Trent Alexander-Arnold for the second goal. That was as early as the 20th minute. Since then, Madrid have been in total control. They've wasted other good chances. Luka Modric and Kylian Mbappe have just come on for them as well, as if things couldn't get any worse for Dortmund. 20 minutes to go. The rest of the game is on talkSPORT 2. It's Real Madrid 2, Borussia Dortmund 0.
Top stuff there from the Moves. All right, well, Natasha will join us again just after the break, and we'll still get stuck in, should I say, to this game as France beat England in that first game of the opening Euro 2025 campaign. Loads of question marks. We want to hear about Sarina Wiegman. Did she get her tactics wrong? Hopefully, we'll hear from Sarina Wiegman as well. All that coming up after the break on the full-time phone-in on talkSPORT. You're listening to the full-time phone-in on talks with myself, Darren, Ben and Jordan Nobbs. I think Natasha Dowie's still there as well, so we'll go to her in a minute. But we're reflecting on the performance, should I say, of the Lionesses getting beat in their first opening game of Group D, 2-1 by France. It started off really well. England played really, really well for the first part. But it just seemed like they run out of steam, Jordan. Let's talk about the team selection a little bit. I thought you said there, Lauren James, I thought for the first 20 minutes, I thought there's no one that can stop her. She obviously ran out of gas because she's had a long injury. What did you make of the rest of the team selection? And when I say rest of the team selection, as your man, you've got Alessia Russo, who's always going to start. Yeah. But were there any other players that you might have looked at and gone, I might have opted for someone different?
I think it's easy after a game to look at selection, isn't it? You go, oh, why did they play them? But I think, 10 of them played in the Euros final. So they've got experience, and it is a very good team that you've put out there. It just felt like it didn't come together. So is it questioning, is it a bad day at the office, or is it that actually she needs to change some of the players and have some fresh ideas?
Natasha, let me ask you a question then, because Alessia Russo's had a great season. I mean, I think 20 goals in all competitions for Arsenal, Champions League winner. To me, it felt like she was really isolated. Is that how you saw it?
Oh, yeah, massively. Yeah, and I think a lot of that was to do with probably Beth Mead having a bit of an off day. You know, normally Beth Mead is almost like another number 9, you know, like I said, assisting, scoring goals. But she was struggling. And then you're asking a Lauren Hemp, who's missed a big chunk, 5 months of the season, who probably still is kind of building her game time to then produce. And she didn't have a bad game. But I think for me, the midfield is the problem today. I think we lost that midfield battle. And in football, you always say, you know, to win a game, you have to win that midfield battle. Jordan would know more than anyone. And I think two key players in the midfield were well off it today. And I think that's probably then affected Russo, not getting the support, long balls up to her. And you've got to give credit to her. I admire her, because as a number 9, when you're getting that kind of service for 90 minutes, it is so frustrating. But not once did she sulk, kept chasing down lost causes, kept trying to do the right things. And I admire that about her. And I think that's why she'll go on. She is a top player, but she'll go on to be one of the best, because she just doesn't stop working and working hard for the team. And that is what you need from a number 9. Ellen White did it for so many years, and now Russo's doing the same.
Yeah, I think also Kaz Carney made a good point about obviously England played Jamaica, and then France had played Brazil. And I think when you look at that, is it also maybe preparation slightly? You know, you're looking at a team that they've beaten well, and you want to go into the tournament with your heads high. But is that slightly affected maybe the players? Because I think France, looked like a different level, especially in that middle time on the pitch.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I actually said it. I think the game against Jamaica, I thought it was a waste of time, if I'm being completely honest. I think that, was it a case of let's play a team that we know we can beat comfortably, we know we can score goals, keep clean sheets, because we've just got beat by France and we want to go into a major tournament full of confidence? But actually, I think you don't get anything out of those games. And I think actually maybe it covered up some issues and made them think that they were probably in a better place than what they are. So I think you're spot on there.
Natasha, again, fast forward into the Netherlands game now. We know the Netherlands had a really good result in their opener against Wales, so they are obviously top of Group D. But are there going to be changes, you think, from Sarina Wiegman? I know she's incredibly loyal to certain players, and rightly so, because they've won her championships. They've been so consistent for such a long time now. But I thought there was a real lack of energy in the team today. Do you think Sarina Wiegman will make changes, or do you think she'll give them another opportunity to go again against the Netherlands?
I think she's got to make changes. She won't make a lot. I don't think she'll make the amount of changes she should and what everyone thinks she should. But I think potentially in that fullback role, maybe Jess Carter comes out, and then Beth Mead potentially as well. I think maybe you start a Chloe Kelly and you bring a Niamh Charles in. But I think apart from that, she'll be loyal to all the rest of them. And we talk about Agyman, Abiva Jones. The only thing I see is maybe they get on sooner. But again, I think with Sarina Wiegman, she tends to make the subs with regards to how the game's going. You know, so the impact that Agyman had for me, I'd straight away be thinking I need to get her more involved in the next game. But I don't think Sarina has that mindset. You know, she really is quite structured with what she does. You kind of know that when she's going to bring the subs on 60 minutes, you kind of know who she's going to be bringing on. And I think, you know, to ask someone of her quality and her standard to change, she's not going to do that. So, you know, we can be frustrated, but she's proven time and time again that she's a top coach. So, and I'm sure she'll prove us wrong again this tournament, and we'll be eating our words by the end of it.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, Tash. I think when I was in the squad, you definitely knew where you stood, even if that was to the extent of like third, fourth sub on. So I think it's whether this is the tournament where Serena makes slight changes. People start to get used to teams playing, don't they? They get used to the players, they get used to the tactics. And is it that we put players on a bit earlier and mix things up a little bit to try and change maybe what's happened this tournament? Is it getting a little bit comfortable for England doing the same thing and they need that little bit of a spark? And I think also as well, we know as footballers, the competition, when you have competition, it boosts you straight away.
Sorry to interrupt you there. That we have got live. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk is with the Lionesses manager, Serena Wiegmann.
So we're joined by Lionesses manager Serena Wiegmann. Serena, a positive start to the game, dominant start, a dominant end, but the middle bit a little frustrating?
Yeah, the middle bit was disappointing. Indeed, I thought we started really well. We could have scored in the first minute, and we scored a goal was very unfortunately disallowed. And after that, of course, France came in the game. I think they gave them a boost. I think we caused ourselves a bit of problems. We know what their strengths are, and we played too many short passes, and where they could put pressure on, and then when we would get out, then we were a bit too sloppy on the ball, and then and especially when it's on your own half, they become really dangerous, and we had to get that right and do better. We did have moments the second half. We couldn't harm them that much, and I think when we scored the corner, that helped us, and we tried to force a goal, and I think we were really close, but we didn't get it across the line.
You speak about sort of the offside goal. It looked really tight. You look quite animated as well with the second France goal. Looked like there was a foul on Alessia Russo in the build-up. So do you feel key decisions have gone against you tonight?
Yeah, we were very unlucky. We were very unlucky with these decisions. But yeah, I think I have to talk about us and our performance.
And in terms of Lauren James, was it always sort of regulated her minutes that she'd probably come off at that time because she's had a lack of game time recently?
Yeah, I think she's still building, and so yeah, you have to be a bit careful too. But she's in a very good place, and when we saw, I think Ella Toon came on position, she made the runs in behind. I think we needed that too. So that was a different balance than in midfield, but that helped the team too. So that shows again that we have different options to play out in midfield.
And lastly, you brought on some different options. You changed the formation a little bit. How pleased are you with the reaction of your substitutes that came on?
Yeah, we wanted, of course, to bring something different. We knew we wanted to play more on the half because we had to score. I think they did maximum effort to change that, and especially, of course, when we came in the force a goal moment, we were very close.
Serena, thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Great stuff there. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk there with the Lionesses manager Serena Wiegmann. And Natasha, she made some really interesting points there when she spoke about they caused themselves their own problems by too many short passes. It was sloppy in their own half. And that kind of goes back to what you were talking about, that bar Spain, England are a team, certainly in world football, that like to dominate the ball, a comfortable possession, but it just didn't show this evening.
Yeah, it's quite refreshing to hear. I'm glad that she's been honest and not tried to, get the VAR involved and make excuses. So that's good to hear. But when we talk about short passes, I think that's England's game plan. They've got a Russo who likes to come to feet. She doesn't tend to run in behind. You've got a Beth Mead who wants to come to feet. She's not going to run in behind. Lauren Hemp, exactly the same, wants to come to feet, and then she likes to dribble and drive. There's not too many players in that team, that starting 11 today, that really like to make those runs in behind. So when she's saying, that they played into the French's hands, we're playing short passes, well, maybe then you have to change your personnel, to allow you then to go a bit more direct and play those long balls with an Agyman, that, Beaver Jones that maybe makes, which she talked about, Toon making their third man run. So, yeah, that kind of is a bit of a surprising statement by her, I guess.
I think we have to take a lot of credit for actually the way France performed. I think we've spoke about the Lionesses, but the way France performed was just unbelievable. I think the wingers, the midfielders putting in tackles, they just changed the game, and I think that shocked England a little bit. And I think, like you said, I don't think there'll be too many changes to the next game, but I think that'll be something that the Lionesses will have to change.
Yeah, you're spot on, and I think we're naturally a talk about England because we're disappointed that they've lost, but sometimes you have to actually focus on the opposition were very strong. They were the better team at the end of the day, and they had some players that performed to their maximum, which on our day, if we had, then we would have given them a much better game. So credit to France. Yeah, I think they were confident. I had a bit of a bad feeling. We went to the press conference yesterday and they seemed so confident, so calm, so relaxed, in the zone, and there's kind of been rumours that maybe England are a little bit more tense. So yeah, coming into the game I was nervous, and I guess come the 90 minutes we can see why we were a little bit nervous.
Natasha, do you think we ever see a scenario where we see Alessia Russo and Agyemang up front at the same time? And when I say that, I mean start, because I understand she's got a system that she wants to play Sarina Wiegman, but if it's not working, I mean, the Netherlands is a prime example, because if they lose to that, then they're probably out. But if there's all this outcry for Agyemang to get more minutes, because she did look lively when she came on, she did really well, that you can see the both of them together.
I would love that. Yeah, I kind of was talking even about Beaver Jones, but I think the impact Agyemang has had, absolutely, why not? And it all depends as well with what happens in the Dutch game. I think you can absolutely afford to do that against Wales. I think they're a strong team, but to maybe change personnel and go with two up top to try and get the goal difference as well, I think could be an option. Whether it happens, I don't think it will. I really don't. I don't think Sarina Wiegman will go two up top. She'll stick with what she's done for the years that she's been there. But yeah, it must be frustrating, Jordan. You've played under her, but for someone like an Agyemang or a Beaver Jones, if I was a centre forward in the form that they were in, especially Beaver Jones, to not even get on when your team's 2-0 down and you know that you can have an impact, I mean, that must be so tough for a player.
It's really tough. It's kind of like you don't really think you can do much more to get on the pitch, but I think once Sarina has her ideas, and I mean, we can't knock her, she's been fantastic for the Lionesses, winning the Euros and getting to the World Cup final, but you kind of do know where you stand. It's very hard to change that. I guess it's just about mentally waiting and hoping that you can affect the game and get on. But it is the way she works, and it's definitely worked for her. But like I said, I think that this might be the tournament where it might just be a little bit different, and she might have to make them earlier changes. She obviously will know how good the Netherlands are, and she'll know everything about them. But when you watch them today, they were so dynamic, and I think that's going to give a different way of playing for the Lionesses as well.
Great stuff there. Natasha, thanks for joining us. Great speaking to you.
Thanks, guys. Nice to speak to you. Take care.
Thank you. Natasha Dowie there, the former England international, reflecting on England's 2-1 loss to France at the opening game of their Group D match against France, as I've just said there, in the opening of the tournament. Disappointing, but as I said, there's a big opportunity now, Jordan, for England to bounce back. I know it's going to be tough because the Netherlands are confident, but just beating Wales, currently sit top of Group D. How hard is that going to be? And also, what job has Sarina Wiegman got to do to ensure that they don't go out to the Netherlands on Wednesday?
I think if anyone can do it, the Lionesses have dealt with a lot of pressure. All them players have played in really big pressure moments. So, they'll be disappointed in the performance and certain aspects, but they'll know that last 10 minutes was the Lionesses we know. So they will definitely change that dramatically for the next game, and they get a win the next game and they're back in it, and it's not great to get that in the first game, but there's still a big chance for the Lionesses to beat the Netherlands.
Absolutely. Let's hope that Wednesday's performance is better for 90 minutes against the Netherlands and they can get that result and then take it down to the last group game of this competition, which is against Wales, of course. There's another big competition going on at the minute. It's the Club World Cup quarter-finals. Real Madrid taking on Borussia Dortmund. Let's cross to the Moose and see how the game's going. Moose?
Just over 3 minutes to go. Real Madrid 2, Borussia Dortmund 0. Goals by Gonzalo Garcia and Frank Garcia have Real Madrid in cruise control in New Jersey. They haven't conceded a goal in over 4 hours of play in this competition, so I don't think Borussia Dortmund are going to get 2 in 3 minutes, although I might be proved wrong. Rodrigo has just come on as well. Mbappe's had one chance, a shot saved at the near post. The rest of the game is on talkSPORT 2. 3 to go of the 90. Real Madrid 2, Borussia Dortmund 0.
Great stuff there. The Moose watching the Club World Cup quarter-final between Dortmund and Real Madrid. All right, coming up next, we are going to keep discussing the Lionesses' result tonight against France, but also look forward to the game against the Netherlands and, of course, the last group game against Wales. If you still want to have your say, get your calls in 03717 22 33 44. This is the full-time phone-in on talkSPORT. You're listening to the full-time phone-in on talkSPORT. Myself, Darren Bent, and Jordan Nobbs. We are reflecting, of course, on the Lionesses' opening group game against France. Sadly finished 2-1 to France. Performance wasn't great. Mixed performance, I'd probably say. Jordan started off really well. Didn't kind of end the first half well, then came out second half quite flat, then ended the game quite well. They have to be better against the Netherlands for sure. Yeah, they definitely do. I think we've seen the Netherlands have such a good performance, and it's all in that next game now. You know, never say never. The Lionesses, it's not to panic now. It's to look back, see what they need to do better. I think there's some quite obvious basics that the Lionesses standards they won't want to happen again. So that'll be the main things that I think they need to change. And the Netherlands, it's going to be a tough test, of course. They won their opening game against Wales 3-0 on quite a good run. I think their last result they got, or certainly the last defeat they had, was 4-0 to Germany, and that's no disrespect in Germany because they're one of the best sides. But how dangerous are this Netherlands side against England? How tough is it going to be for England to kind of overcome this game that we saw this evening? Yeah, they're a top team. You know, they've won the Euros before, so they've been there, done that, the same as the Lionesses. And I think when you look at their quality and freedom within their play, you know, Jill Rood, Dan van der Donk, Vivian Miedema, Vic Palova just scored. I mean Miedema's goal tonight was unbelievable. Literally trademark Viv. You know, in training, chops it one foot, chops it the next, top bins. It's like, honestly, she does that day in, day out, and it's really hard to stop. I mean, the goal, if anyone's not seen it, the goal against Wales, as you said, she's on that left-hand side, just outside the box, drags it back onto her right and just bends it into that far corner. And how important do you think it's going to be then that Sarina Wiegman gets her team selection right? Because you've named some of the players that the Netherlands have got, world-class players that everyone knows who they are. They're so dangerous, they can score goals from anywhere. How important is the team selection going to be, and how important is it that Sarina Wiegman has to look to the here and now? I know it's going to be difficult for her because she'll look back to what the team did for her before and how low she's been, but at some point it's got to be important that and imperative that she looks at now and goes, I think I might need to make changes. Yeah, I think she's not going to change the team too much. She likes that structure and especially the experience. But I think, yeah, a bit like what Tash said earlier, you're looking at full-back, winger maybe for a different spark. But I think Sarina's main thing will be winning the first and second balls and getting on the balls and playing good passes. You know, it was really untidy today. So them players aren't used to doing that. We're not used to seeing that from the Lionesses. So if they change that and come out the way they did in them last 10 minutes, it'll be a totally different game against the Netherlands. And if you were Sarina Wiegman, what changes would you make? I know it's difficult, but you spoke about the fullbacks. You spoke about Ajerman coming on up front, Alessia Russo. What changes do you think you want to see in the Netherlands? I'd like to see Ella Toon in there, but then that's obviously maybe pushing Lauren James on the wing, which, you know, you'd still want her to have that freedom to come inside and get on the ball, you know, not be a rigid out-and-out winger, you know, come get on the ball, create that 10 position for the crosses, etc. But I think Ella Toon, she, you know, one of the first shots on target was Ella Toon's shot that went out for the corner. She just creates that little bit of momentum and I think probably makes subs earlier. You know, you look at Ajerman, give her 20 minutes, she's raring and ready to go. Is it one of those, and we heard Natasha speak about it as well, that Sarina Wiegman, and I can understand why she does this, where she likes to see how the game is going and then make changes according to how the game is, obviously if they're winning, if they're losing. Do you think that's a good kind of, I know it stood her well in the past, but with the players that are hungry to get on the pitch, do you think maybe she should have maybe sank in her mind before the game starts, that even regardless how the game's going, just to freshen it up a little bit, they're coming on at this time? I think she will know. It's whether it's she's thinking, now we're going to be 2-0 down to France and then change a plan. But I think because it's worked in the past, her, like, you know, I know my first sub, my second sub, they've come on and scored goals. You know, you look at Chloe Kelly, Ella Toon, when she's made them subs in the past, they score a goal and win you the tournament. I think it's now teams are changing, adapting, and I would be starting to look to change that and put players on earlier now. I think when the game's not going your momentum, you can't wait that extra 10 minutes. You know, it's too long. It is indeed. And when you look at the France performance this evening, how different and dangerous are the Netherlands going to be? Because what I saw from France today, I mean, the front three were absolutely exceptional. And then they made 3 changes, took them all off. They all came on and you went, some of those could be starting as well. Yeah. how different then of a test is it going to be? Because I looked at France, pace, power, getting up and down, playing with that real freedom. Do you think the Netherlands are going to be as dangerous, or do you think their approach is going to be a lot different?
Dangerous in different ways. They definitely haven't got the pace that France have.
Frightening.
Yeah, frightening. Here's 3 new ones. Yeah. Here you go. But I think the rotation of the Netherlands is what's going to be tough. They don't really play with a rigid team. They like to move, interchange positions, and that's where I think the Lionesses have got to stay in their structure, pass players on, and not get too caught up in what the Netherlands are doing. You know, they need to stick to their game plan.
Absolutely right, Jordan. Well, I'll come back to you about that because there's a little bit of chaos going on in the game between Real Madrid and Borussia Dortmund. Moose, talk to me. What's happening?
Real Madrid 3, Borussia Dortmund 1. We're literally in the last few seconds. Dean Howson has just been sent off for Real Madrid, so that means that he will miss the semi-final with Paris Saint-Germain. We've just seen an unbelievable goal from on the right-hand side. Mbappe, with his standing leg, his left leg, swung himself in the air and volleyed home right-footed. It was a sensational finish. Hausenbauer sent off for pulling back the Borussia Dortmund striker inside the box. So Borussia Dortmund are going to end with a penalty here. That after Gonzalo Garcia had put Real Madrid ahead inside 9 minutes, and then Fran Garcia inside 20 minutes had put Real Madrid on easy street. But the chaos, Maxi Bayer's goal after coming on made it 2-1 before that amazing strike from Kylian Mbappe made it 3-1. But Borussia Dortmund now preparing to take this penalty. It surely will not affect the result, because I can't believe we only had 5 added minutes to go. We've already played 7 of them, so we've played 2 over. So I can't believe that after this penalty there'll be enough time for Dortmund to force extra time. The penalty is being spotted up as I speak. It's Guirassy who's going to take the penalty for Borussia Dortmund. Paris Saint-Germain earlier had 2 men sent off, by the way, in their victory over Bayern Munich, so they await the winners in the semi-final. And Mbappe's just been booked for arguing as well. The chaos continues in New Jersey, but it looks like both the German sides are going out on the same day after Bayern Munich's defeat to Paris Saint-Germain earlier. Guirassy's just now composing himself to take this penalty. It must surely be the last kick of the game. The referee's making sure that everybody's outside the penalty area. So the 2 goals by Gonzalo Garcia and Fran Garcia, by the way, that's set up by Trent Alexander-Arnold in the first half. Kylian Mbappe's won the goal after Maxi Bayer had pulled 1 back for Borussia Dortmund. The penalty is converted beyond Thibaut Courtois. It's Real Madrid 3, Borussia Dortmund 2. We played 8 minutes of added time. We should only have had 5, so I can't believe that Borussia Dortmund are going to have enough time to get back into this, and it will be Real Madrid against Paris Saint-Germain in the semi-finals. Dazza.
Cheers, Moose. What a game that has been there. Borussia Dortmund, Real Madrid, absolutely incredible. All right, just quickly then, Jordan, we look forward to the game on Wednesday against the Netherlands. I mean, it's imperative that they bounce back now. Their backs against the wall, because if they don't win, if they get beat, it's pretty much game over. What do you want to see, and how do you want to see the Lionesses start their game against the Netherlands?
Yeah, I think they've got to be a bit more fired up. You know, maybe a little bit of nerves came in. Second